we.
All right. C, your next question.
Judge, I don't have any further questions for Mr. Litsky.
All right.
I would ask to recall him at a later time.
Okay, well, cross-examination?
No.
Not at this time, Your Honor, no, thank you.
Okay, all right. Sir, since you are subject to recall,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Did y'all see? Y'all catch how the judge looked at him when he said subject to recall? The judge like, look, we at the end of this case. What do you mean recall? What is he doing? He don't have any further questions, but this man is subject to recall. What do you mean? What is this attorney doing? The judge looking like, homie, like we should be at the end of the case. What are you doing? Oh man, somebody go help my homie out. Subject to recall. I think he just want to keep people on recall just in case. Subject to recall. Look at the judge.
In doing your forensic analysis, describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you do.
make sure the green button's on there.
Okay, I think it's on now. In obtaining data from a device, the first thing we do is stabilize it, and that method depends on whether it's a mobile device or a computer, whether the device is on or off. So an example of a computer, what I would do is the device, if it's already coming to me in a powered off state, I would remove the hard drive, connect it to a forensic machine with a write blocker. A write blocker is a device that prevents writing to that evidence device. Therefore, no bits are changed. So no zeros, no ones, nothing gets altered. And then I take what's called a forensic image of that and create an evidence file from that, which is then loaded into another forensic tool that will parse that data and create it into a readable format for me as the examiner or anybody else to read down the road.
And would you draw your conclusions that are the conclusions that are on this digital forensics executive summary after doing that through different artifacts?
Yes, I would draw any conclusions off of data that had been obtained from a device.
Okay, and what you just described to the jury is what went into this document, the digital forensic executive summary.
Everything that was used to compile that came from data that had been extracted from the digital devices.
Okay, and specifically relating, and I'm referencing this document, January 9th, that was an important day in terms of who was using devices.
Objection, counsel's testifying.
All right.
What's the significance
I'll
of
state the objection. Go ahead.
Yes, what's the significance of January 9th, 2023 in this investigation?
That was a date that a Gmail account was created.
Okay, and in your investigation, were you able to determine who created that account?
Who in particular? No.
Yes. Were you able to investigate using your tools to determine artifacts such as such as other lifestyle type matters as to who was home, who could have been there, things like that?
Judge, objection is to form.
If you want to state that question again.
What are the things that, so when you're honing in on who was using a device, what things do you look at?
I would look at a variety of things. Pattern of life would be a term that would be used, but you would explore all that the data has to offer, and see if there's enough artifacts there to support or provide enough information as to who may have been using that device. But barring external corroboration, it's impossible to put somebody behind a screen.
Now, in terms of, reaching conclusions in digital forensics, you have to make determinations based on a number of factors, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, did you do to arrive at the conclusion that
Objection leading.
on January 9th,
Sir, sustained as to leading.
what, if anything, did you take into consideration in arriving at your conclusion on January 9th, 2023?
For that particular date,
Yes.
I took into account all the information I had at that time as to what was the more likely scenario based on what I had at the time.
Okay. And what was your determination based on this particular executive summary?
That based on what I had at the time, it indicated that the device owner was using the device.
Okay. Now, you've put in this summary January 17th. Is that a significant date?
Yes,
Okay. What's the significance of that date?
that was another date that an account was created.
And was that the FetLife account?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the relationship, if any, between the Gmail account that was created on January 9th and the FetLife account that was created on January 17th?
The Gmail account that had been created on January 9th was the email account that was used in the creation of the FetLife account.
Okay. And were you able to determine through your expertise who had control of the device, Christine's devices on that day?
I was able to determine that it was her phone involved in creating that device. I was able to determine that it was her phone used in the creation of that account based on a variety of returns.
And did you make any conclusions at that time that she had not given up her devices?
I had nothing indicating loss of dominion and control at that time.
Okay, and that's what your finding was as per that particular day, correct?
Yes.
Has that changed?
Yes.
When did that change?
A co-defendant admitted to using the devices.
Okay. Has it digitally, in terms of digital forensic artifacts, has that changed?
No, the zeros and ones did not change.
Okay, so, and zeros and ones, that's binary, right?
Yes.
So your conclusions based on zeros and ones are still the same?
Yes.
The only additional factor is the co-defendant adopted a different story.
I was provided additional information that had to be taken into account, yes.
Okay, meaning she told the story that she told the other day here.
Yes.
Okay. Were there any other conclusive digital artifacts that were different in the creation of this report other than the co-defendant testifying differently?
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again?
It wasn't a very artfully worded question. Were there any, so we were just talking about digital analysis. Is it fair to say that you were never in a position to challenge any of the things she said?
I conducted no interviews with her. That's correct.
Were you able to observe whether she was ever challenged on any of the things she said?
Only with the interviews that have been recorded.
Okay. And do you believe that she was challenged on what she was said?
Objection, I'm not sure that that is relevant. His belief,
Yeah, I'll overrule as to relevance.
I'm sorry, could you ask the question again?
Do you believe she was challenged in those interviews?
I think that's a relative term. I can't speak to what the person asking the questions was thinking at the time.
Let me see if I can get us to a point where we're understanding each other. As an investigator, if you think that something may not be right, whether it's based on digital forensics or anything, you challenge them, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And that's what you would do if you were in a situation where you were interviewing based upon your work, correct?
my questions would have likely been different, but I can't speak to why somebody would ask what they would ask in an interview they're conducting.
So if somebody says something, generally, if somebody says something that's wrong, you don't challenge them?
I think I would.
Okay. In watching those interviews, were they ever challenged? Was she ever challenged?
Judge, objection calls for speculation. Again, he's testified already that he doesn't know what was in their minds when they're asking questions.
Speculation.
Well, I'm asking him about his review of the videos. It's not, it's essentially, it's his.
I'll overrule objection. Go ahead. If you can answer.
Yeah, re-ask the question, sir, please.
Watching the interviews of her recant, you weren't there, correct?
Yes, I was not there.
Did you think that she was challenged when she gave the story that she gave?
It appeared to be more of a free-form interview. I did not see direct confrontation on things in that interview.
Okay. And when you say free form, you mean she was just able to tell what she wanted to?
Well, they were going through the details.
Okay, so she was asked about a detail, and then she was able to give a story?
Pretty much it was a question and answer format.
Okay. And I guess my question is, I use the term challenge. Were there people questioning what she was saying?
In light of,
Any of the topics?
I don't remember anything specifically.
Okay. What were your conclusions in your executive summary that you wrote before her recant?
That based on the digital evidence I had at the time and the facts known at the time, it indicated that the device owner was responsible for the activity on the device.
And that device owner?
Christine Banfield.
I have no further questions.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you.
Can we just put this down, or do you need it? You can take it away.
We're just going to do it. Good afternoon, Detective Miller.
Afternoon.
All right, so you stated barring external corroboration, it's impossible to put someone behind a screen. Isn't that correct?
There needs to be corroboration of some sort, yes.
All right, and in this case, when you dug into Christine's phone, Christine's laptop, the information that you received from the external sources, Google, Apple, were you able to put someone concretely behind the screen?
At times, yes.
But throughout the context of all of the conversations that you saw occurring, the activity that you saw occurring on Christine's phone, could you conclusively opine as to who was behind the screen?
No.
Okay. And when you wrote this report that Mr. Carroll has referenced, you used the phrasing, Christine did this, Christine did that. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And after additional information and further investigation, you would have changed that to Christine's phone or Christine's laptop. Is that correct?
correct.
Because again, you can't put someone behind the screen in this case, can you?
Not for everything, correct.
Okay. The evidence itself did not change, correct?
Correct, the data did not change.
You did not change the evidence, correct?
No, I did not change the evidence.
You reviewed how many terabytes of data in this case?
A lot.
A lot, okay. And in all of that, there was no ability to reach a conclusion that one person was always operating on FetLife, was always operating on Christine's phone when interacting with the Google account that was created to manipulate the FetLife account. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. There are no artifacts contrary to Juliana Perez Magalhaes' statements regarding the creation of the account, are there?
Not that are coming to mind, no.
And the only changes that you would have made here is, again, to clarify that there are points at which you cannot tell who is operating the device.
Yes, I would have clarified. It's very difficult to speak about devices constantly saying this person's device, that person's device. I did it with Joseph Ryan's devices, Brendan Banfield's devices, Juliana's devices all throughout. I just called it the person who owned the device using.
All right, so in this case, I got louder. The digital forensics may not lie, but they didn't provide us with any conclusive evidence of who was operating Christine's phone when the Google account used in conjunction with the FetLife account was created.
Correct.
Okay. You were also asked about your review of Juliana Perez Magalhaes' original proffer that occurred on October 25th. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Were you aware that there was another interview with Juliana that occurred in February?
yes,
Okay. And did you receive information from watching the October proffer about what was going on in the room between the detectives and the attorneys that were present? Did anyone show you the notes that were passed? Have you had the opportunity to talk to those individuals about what they might have whispered about when they stepped out of the room?
I did not discuss that with anybody.
Okay, so you have no idea what, if anything, went into the questions that she was asked and whether or not there was effort made to confirm that her story had additional corroboration, do you?
Correct.
Okay. Judge, I don't believe I have any other questions.
right.
Thank you so much.
Redirect.
Sir, do you know why you as
Could you wait till you get to the microphone, please?
do you
Thank
know why you as the expert in digital forensics was not called in the Commonwealth's case?
I don't.
Were you ever told anything about that?
Objection calls for hearsay?
Overruled.
I just know that they were not advertising it, that they were having the proffer at that time. I found out afterwards it had already taken place.
No, I'm talking about for the trial, for this trial.
I'm sorry, ask your question again then.
So it started with, do you know why you weren't called when you were the expert in digital forensics for this case?
Again, I can't speak to somebody's motivation for not including me.
Okay. It's not a hard question to say when you're not watching someone on a device to say digital forensics can't conclusively determine who it is behind the device, correct?
Can you ask it again, please, sir?
Sure. It's not a hard question to ask someone like yourself, you don't know 100% who's behind that device. Isn't that correct?
Objection leading?
I'll sustain as to leading if you want to ask.
What is the likelihood of being able to say someone is using their device with 100% certainty without seeing the person?
That's difficult to do.
Okay. And that's one of the reasons why digital forensics is a valuable tool, correct?
Objection, counsel's testifying.
Oh, overruled, if you can answer.
Yes.
And it's because of, well, the factors that you've described for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. That's how you arrive at conclusions, correct?
Yes.
But they're not, how many times that you've arrived at successful conclusions where you were 100% certain the person who was behind the device?
I would say only in circumstances where somebody admitted that they were using the device.
Okay. Or you had a camera on them or something like that?
Correct. Some kind of corroborative factor.
Okay. Do you have any idea why you were excluded from any of these meetings regarding the Juliana's recant?
I can't speak to people's motives to not including me.
Okay. Was there anyone else who was covering the digital forensics arena in your stead?
In general or for a meeting in particular?
For this case?
No, I was pretty much the one who did the analysis.
So you were the expert.
Yes.
And who would rely upon your expertise in the ongoing investigation?
The lead detectives.
Okay. And are you talking about Detective Bryant
Yes.
and Detective Goodell?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the flow of information as you found digital forensics? Did you give it to them?
Yes. Everything that I processed was ultimately provided directly to Kyle Bryant and other detectives involved in the case.
And did you ever, so I'm asking in the context of like a math equation. Did you ever show your work or did you just show your conclusions?
I went through the artifacts with the detectives.
Okay, and that would be Kyle Bryant
Yes.
and Tom Goodell?
Yes.
Any other detectives?
There were a lot of people in meetings.
Okay,
About
so they
this
were, okay, so you're talking about meetings, but did you ever go in and just talk to them in a granular level as to why you arrived at the conclusions you arrived at?
Yes.
And how often would that happen?
There were multiple occasions that I got to a granular level.
Okay. What about the command staff? Did you ever get into the granular level with the command staff on the digital forensics?
There were multiple meetings where command staff was present and I outlined why I came to the conclusions I came to. But as far as sitting down and going over every artifact, no.
Okay. And would you have been invited to do that by the command staff?
Objection, calls for speculation.
I'll sustain that.
Were
Next
you,
question.
were you ever invited to come in and give the granular details, no matter who they were?
I don't recall providing granular details to command staff.
Okay. And granular, we're talking about to the nitty gritty, right? Just so we're using the same terms.
Judge, objection is to form. I'm not sure how nitty gritty is different from granular.
I'll sustain that objection.
How would you describe granular in the way we're talking about it?
Painstaking detail, like getting into why that artifact is the way it is, how it came to be there, going through that way. So some of them were down to that level, but not the entirety of the case, no.
Okay. And when you say some of, you're speaking to the people when you say some of them?
Yeah, there were different times throughout this investigation where I would sit down with various different people, and depending on what was desired, I would go through exactly how I arrived where I was. Some people wanted overview, some people wanted to see down to the detail.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your
All
Honor.
right, is this witness subject to recall again, or?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so you're still subject to recall, detective, so discuss your testimony with anybody